Spurs winning the game by 1-0. This is, of course, the first leg of the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. All the talk, though, after the match is about that penalty that Harry Kane converted, because initially the play was awarded offside. However, the referee goes back, looks at VAR. In fact, Harry Kane was on and the penalty awarded. No one's happy. Pochettino came out afterwards saying, "I don't like the VAR. Today we get the benefit of it, but after watching the World Cup and another league like La Liga, I see that nobody is happy from day one that they started to use it. To get the benefit is nice, but I'm unhappy to win the game like this. I prefer the technology, but in a different way. Being clear, though, I'm pro-technology because you cannot stop evolution, but we are waiting so long, it is not clear what the rules are." Sarri, by the way, afterwards saying VAR is a disaster, putting out laptop pictures that Harry Kane was indeed offside.
It was about 1:30.
It was about 90 seconds, wasn't it?
About 90 seconds of Maurizio Pochettino's lifespan to get what we think was the right decision.
What's wrong with him? Like, everyone, I think, agreed the World Cup, it worked.
The World Cup was, I think most of us thought was super exciting because VAR helped. I mean, it had a few kinks in it, but it was great. And he's completely contradicting himself about it. What way does he want it? I mean, he's like,
He's talking double
silver
Dutch.
service here.
He's talking double Dutch for a start. But you know why it took so long? Because all the Chelsea players were hanging around the referee and wouldn't let him do his job. That's why it took so long. And the fact that he's coming out and saying he wants it and doesn't want it, again, I mean, are you stupid? So are you telling us that you would prefer not to have the right decision? Because that's the only thing I can get from this. If he says he doesn't want VAR, that means you're going to toss it a coin. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes not. Why would you be happy with that?
The way I see it is that Mauricio Pochettino started with his statement and then cut himself and said, wait a minute, am I really going to go against technology? Am I really going to take the position that it's better to get the call wrong than it is to get the call right? That doesn't make any sense in the world. And so, of course, then Mauricio Pochettino contradicts himself within 30 seconds and then says, I want technology. Well, VAR may not be perfect, but right now it's the best version of what we have available. Use it correctly, implement it correctly, and then you'll get the decisions correct. That's all we would like to see, the decisions being correct, and that's what happened today.
Did you hear a Gab Marcotti sigh during that?
Yeah,
I thought I heard a Gab Marcotti sigh.
I can't wait for this.
I heard several.
Come on, I'll be sticking up for Pochettino. You guys know that. Look, he said from day one, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here, and what I mean, I think what he meant was, people aren't happy when it's first implemented because there are kinks to work out. And I think there undoubtedly are here in England. It's not day one, but I think Michael Oliver's only had 2 games with VAR before tonight. And the guys in the booth as well wouldn't be that experienced. The other thing is, the reason it took so long as well, by the way, is that they had 2 things to check. They had to go and confirm that it was, in fact, a penalty, that there was contact with Kepa, and they had to go and confirm that that Harry Kane was offside or onside. So let's cut the VAR guys a little bit of slack here.
No, where are we at?
We're sticking up for them.
I don't know. I know you've been skiing, Gab, but did you get anything in your ears when you were over there? We're sticking up for the VAR and the referee here. It's Pochettino who's complaining about. I mean, if they'd have ruled that as Kane offside and Chelsea had won the game, maybe he'd have came at it from a different angle. I don't know. A minute and a half to be fair, to make 2 decisions. The other side, the reason it took quite a while was because whether we like it or not or whatever, it's the least of the competitions. It's a semi-final, and it was a close call. It was.
Well, so close. In fact, we've got Sarri coming out afterwards with his laptop and saying that his cameras show that Kane was in fact offside.
Is it his cameras? Not his cameras. Chelsea's cameras. Because if you're telling me they've got better position cameras than the host broadcaster, I'll be shocked, because the host broadcaster's probably got 20 plus cameras at the game and has every best camera angle there.
How about they manipulated it?
This is the line you're talking about.
Of course it is, aye. How about they manipulated it just to show that he's saying what he's saying is correct? What's a lot of nonsense?
Gab, what do you make of this Sarri laptop picture that he's been showing the world?
All right, look, can we just knock this on the head? Maurizio Sarri does not have his own personal cameras at the ground. He has the exact same cameras that the host broadcaster has. It's not simply down to camera angles. And again, I'm not 100% on how the FA do it, but I can tell you how they did it at the World Cup, how they do it in Italy, how they do it in Portugal, and elsewhere, is they don't just rely on cameras. It's not just a guy watching TV sort of with his remote control, fast forwarding and rewinding. There's a whole bunch of software that comes into it with the calibration of the lines that go across the pitch. They have this sort of 3D imaging as well, or certainly they did at the World Cup. I would assume that that they have this at the FA as well, and then we'll get it in the Premier League next year. So he's looking at the same pictures that the host broadcaster is. It may be that the calibration of his line is different. It may be a split second later. It may be that the guy in the booth got it wrong somehow. I don't know. But he does not have his own personal cameras, and I'm pretty sure that he doesn't have time on the sidelines to go and video edit all this and then come up with some bogus version of events.
I tell you what cannot happen is to have a manager in this sort of club, at this sort of level, coming out with his own laptop and saying, hey, look at this picture over here. See, they got it wrong. That cannot happen because it's embarrassing for everybody involved, including Maurizio Sarri. The truth of the matter is that actually, if you look at it from the perspective that we look at it, unbiased, they got the call right.
Right.
That's all what we want, right? We want the call to be right, and they got the call right.
I think, obviously we know managers don't just insert cameras, having been at I don't know how many games over the years back in England. But what clubs do, they sometimes insert a camera next to camera one, the main camera, for tactical basis for their own data when they get back. But you are reliant on the cameras. What we've got here, as the boys have said, is a clear skewing of the line on their calibration, which is, you haven't got to look at it, and it's wrong. It's just wrong. The paranoia here is absolutely frightening.
How about Sarri looks at his team and think about all the possession he had and the very few clear chances they made? How about looking at it that way?